Pessoal, olha só que honra que eu estou tendo de estar aqui do lado de Jamey Stegmaier, o designer do Scythe, Viticulture, Between Two Cities, Euforia e também Charterstone. Além de ser um dos sócios e dono da Stonemaier Games. Vocês que acompanham o David Coelho já sabem que eu sou fissurado, sou maluco pelos jogos da Stonemaier e consegui aqui uma oportunidade de conversar com o Jamey para saber um pouco mais do Charterstone que está chegando no Brasil pela Ludofy. Então, essa conversa obviamente vai ser em inglês, mas não se preocupem que eu vou colocar legenda aí para vocês, tranquilo? Então, Jamey, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm very happy to be here. I'm a huge fan, and people who follow the rabbit. I don't know. It's
Follow the rabbit.
Follow the rabbit. They know I'm a huge fan. So the idea here is to talk about Charterstone,
Okay.
which is releasing in Brazil as soon as possible. I think. Do you know when?
Hopefully November.
November.
Yeah.
November in Brazil. But the game is releasing in US first, right?
It might actually be a little later in the U.S. because we have Thanksgiving week at the end of November, which throws off things.
So
for you.
Brazil is receiving first.
Maybe a little bit before. Yeah. Maybe. We'll see. It'll be very close. Yeah.
That's cool. That's very cool. Yeah. So, Charterstone, the first time I heard about Charterstone, my mind was blowing. Oh my God, I have to take this note because it's an economical city building, medieval worker placement, competitive legacy with cool arts produced by Stonemaier Games. What do you need else in a game? You don't need anything else. You have everything in here. I say you the only thing you don't have here is your friends, right? But
Right.
you can play solo.
You can play solo. You are right.
Play
Yeah, it's
solo.
one to 6 players. Yeah.
Yeah, but what can you tell us about Charterstone and the theme and the mechanics and the gameplay, the game flow?
Yeah. So the idea in Charterstone is that it takes place in a fictional land called Green Gully. And the idea is that you and 5 other villagers have embarked upon this journey, and you've shown up in this little uncharted patch of land that you can kind of see on the box there that hints at it. Nothing has happened there before in the history, and it's your time to build a village there. Yeah, so I won't open the board yet because I want players to open this together, but I'll show you this part. So the village is divided into charters, so this is the red charter that you will get to name, and you get to build buildings in this charter. You're the only one that controls those buildings, but they become worker placement action spots for any player to use. So even though it's competitive, even though you control this, it's a shared village that you're building with your friends. The game takes place over a 12-game campaign arc. And as you're building the game itself, as you're building that board, you're also telling your own unique story. So you can see this is all blank. These are stickers that you'll apply to this rule book to tell the story of your village in a unique way. So your story will be different than everyone else's story. I've tried to make learning the game really, really easy. So the rule book itself is only 4 pages. This is the entire rule book. And you can see that there are big blanks in the rule book where you'll add rules as you play. I really wanted to make it easy for players to play that first game and to learn it. One other cool thing about Charterstone is that it's a 12-game campaign, but after you're done, at the end of the game, these will all be filled with buildings, and there'll be buildings all over the board, and it will be a fully functional worker placement game for you to continue to play. So it's not like you just have to play 12 games and you're done. If you love the village that you created, you can continue to play as much as you want. Or if you want, and I think Ludofy is bringing this to Brazil as well, if you want to play a second campaign, you can just flip the board over to the back side, it's double-sided, and buy the recharge pack. So this is much cheaper than the game itself. It just has all the components you permanently altered the first time around, and you can play a full other 12-game campaign and create a new village together with your friends. You mentioned that there's a solo play, so there's a rule book, another thin rule book for solo play. And I can't show you all the components. Some of this is secret and surprise, but I can show you the stuff that you open up right at the beginning of the game. So we don't do Kickstarter anymore, but I want our games to still feel deluxe. And so right out of the box, every copy of Charterstone has these nice big metal coins and a ton of custom wooden components that you get in every copy of Charterstone. There's also a ton of cards in this game, a ton of unique cards. So this is the main thing that you'll be unlocking during the campaign. You have this big, you can feel it, this is very heavy, full of cards. It's this nice magnet box.
It's a magnet here.
Yeah, you can.
Very cool.
Yeah. So you open up this box and it has tons of cards. And this reference up here tells you which cards to take out of here when you open up a new thing. So it's not in order. So you might open up cards 22, 23, and then 219, and you'll pull those out, and those will be your cards. And that happens over the course of the campaign. There's a lot of surprises in here that I can't show you, but I can show you what a basic building looks like. So there are these building cards, and you'll peel the sticker off the card. You'll put that on the board, and then the card itself is still important. So that's why these aren't on a sticker sheet. They're on this card, so you can continue to use this even when the sticker isn't there anymore.
Really cool, the components and the way you present the game. One thing about legacy games that I think it's the most innovative way of working in a game is the storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
And when I play Pandemic Legacy, I already played the Pandemic version with no legacy Pandemic, and it's an okay game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's a great game. It's a nice game, but Pandemic Legacy, it's a fantastic game.
Yeah.
It's the same game with a fantastic storytelling.
Yeah.
And that makes the game greater.
Right.
When you thought about Charterstone,
Mm-hmm.
this was the main line of the developing the designing the game.
Yeah, that was a huge part of it, and it was influenced actually by both Risk Legacy and Pandemic Legacy. Have you played Risk Legacy?
No, not yet.
No. So in Pandemic, there's a linear story that you follow.
Yeah.
You can't really change that story, but it's a brilliant story. It's memorable. We can remember certain moments of when we played Pandemic Legacy. Risk Legacy has those similar moments, but you choose the order in which they happen. The game doesn't say this happens and then this happens and this happens. And so this is kind of a hybrid of the two. So it has a set plot that it follows, but you make choices throughout that plot that change the path of that story for your unique game. So that's why I kind of showed you the back of the rulebook where you're telling the story. Your story will be unique compared to all of their versions.
Yeah, that's the difference between Charterstone. Let me just between Charterstone and Pandemic, because Pandemic is a cooperative game, so everyone gets the same story.
Exactly.
And Charterstone is a competitive game, so everyone have to live, I don't know, another story of their life, right?
Right.
Otherwise, it will be a comparative game.
Exactly. Yeah. So the story, like you're making the decisions about your charter, and there are story elements that'll happen here. Like you'll remember certain things that happen in your charter, but the group, the entire village, the friends that you play with will remember these story elements that happen. Like I love those memorable moments, and there are some big surprises in here.
You said one of the difficulties of releasing a legacy game was to teach a game that no one has ever played the game.
Yeah.
Without spoiling the story, and Pandemic didn't have this problem because it was a game anyone could play.
Right.
And you could do the same with Scythe, for instance.
Sure.
Scythe is a huge success, and it has a universe that came from the arts, but you can see the flavor of the game while you're playing.
Right.
Why not create a legacy game in Scythe universe?
That's a good question. I think I just that's a good question. It wasn't more of a choice of like Scythe or a new game. It was that this is, I think, what I was more excited about at the time. I agree with you. I think it could work in the Scythe world, but I like the idea of building a game from scratch and building a legacy concept around that game.
It's a new challenge.
Right. And it's like legacy is ingrained in every mechanism of this game. It's not something to be applied to an existing game. I think Pandemic and Risk did that really well.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel tacked on. It doesn't feel like a gimmick. It feels like very natural. But I wanted to start from scratch.
I can't be any more anxious to play it. Very nice news to know that Brazil maybe is getting first in the game. Galera, Charterstone saindo no Brasil antes dos Estados Unidos. A gente vai receber o jogo antes. Olha isso. It's before US or the whole world. Brazil is the first?
Brazil will... It depended on customs. If your customs is smooth,
Xiii!
it could be the first.
Então, olha, pode ser o primeiro se a alfândega deixar. A gente já sabe, né? Vamos ver, vamos esperar isso aí. So, Jamey, thank you so much for this preview. Is this the final copy?
This is the very first real copy of Charterstone.
This is the first copy of Charterstone. I'm touching it. I'm touching the number one Charterstone. Thank you so much for this interview, for this conversation. Say hello to Brazil.
Hello to Brazil.
Bye.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Bom, galera, então vocês viram aí a minha conversa com o Stegmaier. Cara, como eu ainda estou nervoso, cara, de conversar com esse cara. A galera que acompanha o canal sabe o quanto eu sou fã da Stonemaier e ter a oportunidade de conversar com o próprio cara do lado e também ver a cópia a primeira cópia disponível do Charterstone é muita emoção, cara. Eu tava muito nervoso, ainda tô um pouco nervoso, tá me controlando muito ali na entrevista, mas vocês puderam ver aí que notícias legais, né, cara? O Charterstone pode estar chegando primeiro no Brasil. Isso é muito legal. A Ludofy tá de parabéns por conseguir essa parceria com a Stonemaier e conseguir esse lançamento. Acho que a gente está evoluindo a passos largos em lançamentos de jogos bons e prazos para os jogos chegarem no Brasil também. Então vamos ver aí o que o Charterstone reserva pra gente. Vocês puderam ver um pouquinho do que é o jogo. A gente tem lá um tabuleiro com alguns hexágonos que são adesivos que a gente vai construindo e o jogador ele detém aquele lugar, aquele local de ação e os jogadores vão construindo sua própria história. Uma coisa que foi uma coisa que eu falei com ele que eu acho muito importante, que é o roteiro, né, o storytelling do jogo. E fora isso, o cara ele ainda pensa na rejogabilidade do jogo Legacy. Então você pode jogar uma partida e depois você vira o tabuleiro, compra um pack de reset do jogo, todos os componentes que são perpétuos, né, que ficam lá colados no jogo, você recebe eles de novo nesse pack e pode jogar o jogo de novo do outro lado do tabuleiro. Então você tem aí com uma caixa extra, você pode jogar 2 partidas e elas vão ser partidas diferentes. Fora isso, ela é competitiva, então um pode ganhar em uma, outro pode ganhar em outra. É fantástico. Os caras... Eles mandam muito bem nos jogos deles e esse vai ser mais um jogo fantástico. Eu tô muito ansioso pro Charterstone. Vocês viram lá eu falando, cara, tem todos os temas e mecânicas que eu gosto em um board game. Então, tá aí o preview do Charterstone junto do Stegmaier pra vocês, David Coelho, na Gen Con 2017.